Good evening, everybody, and I really welcome to all viewers and my friends. As you know, we are witnessing a very, very unforeseen and unprecedented calamity throughout the globe, and which has really shredded the morals and will be of the humankind. And every day that problem is increasing day by day. The victims are increasing, and nowadays we have started looking more towards the scorecard of the corona and the graph when the graph will go down and and the whole world is trying every possible measures to get out of this, but we all know that it takes time to create a vaccine and create the solution to get out of this pandemic. In such circumstances, we all have to fight against one common goal to defeat the virus and come out victorious. But even after that, things it won't be the same as normal. So basically, it's a new normal, which is a part of the life. Though we are not used to this kind of normal life, we have been used to, like as an Indian, we are really more happy to meet people, socialize, and we are very happy to see each other, attend functions, attend parties. And it's really difficult on become from the Indian's point of view to really become a virtual, but we have to accept one fact that this is a new normal and this is the part of the things which are going to come in the future. But one thing for sure, the disease has changed our view of the world, which has taken for us granted for a long time. Initially, we thought that when this virus started in China, that okay, the virus will, the problem is in China, but slowly and slowly it got spread to across the globe. And then Italy, Spain, Europe, America, India, and now everybody is suffering from the same situation. But at the MAPAI, we are very strong, united, and fortunately, a couple of years back, when there was a large economic recession, MAPAI worked as a family, and we took care of our own employees. And luckily, there was no layoff, no shedding of the employees. And we understand our customers, and we rely on all the projects, services, and shall leave no stone unturned to service our customers, to deliver our commitments. And in that case, whatever precautions we have taken for our manufacturing units is totally as per the international standards. I would say that to protect even the employees who are working there. And we wish that everybody, the viewers, friends, the people working across, the people at the construction sites, the people at the other essential services should remain safe. And let us wish that everybody should be safe. And now I shall like to introduce a very special guest with us. He is Mr. Architect Pramod Parekh, who is a very senior architect and honorable member of Council of Architects, and also a member of the Indian Institute of Architects. His firm Parekh and Associates has been associated with numerous construction projects around India. And to add on to it, there are a lot of people who are involved in the construction activity, but his way of thinking, his vision to construct a project is totally different from the regular construction. So he has got a vision, he has got an idea, and fortunately, he is a strong patron of MAPAI also. And thorough support, we have supplied our products and services to his leading landmark projects. We highly appreciate and we are really thankful for his support, and we cherish the relationship what we have from many years to come. And MAPAI started in India it's like kind of a name organization, and architects like Parekh and other who have been really working on the quality projects, innovative projects, have used our products and taken a lot of things forward with new technologies. I welcome Mr. Parekh to take over this webinar, and he shall share some light on the current and the future scenarios after this pandemic COVID-2019, so that we strategize model for the sustainable nation building process. And every one of our viewers are key link in this development change. We all are related to the construction activities. And so internally, we all want that the activity should go. It will also grow our economy so that we are able to have a kind of a normal, I would say new normal, better future. So I ask everyone to listen intently and ask question to Mr. Parekh, if any. After the end of this question and our session is open And now I request Mr. Parekh to take over the session and start the process. Welcome, Mr. Parekh. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Sanjay ji.
Good afternoon.
Happy family. I think it's a hard time for everybody here. We are going through a pandemic crisis which nobody had dreamt of. Neither everybody we have 2-3 months back. If we had discussed something or seen a movie or something which was this kind of even show, nobody had believed in that.
Yes.
But that's the fact. I think we are going through it. And as you said, the new normal is a good challenge for the industry today. All the things are going to change. And I think it's a pandemic situation where everybody will have a different experience, and everybody has gone through this lockdown period of 2 months. Somebody has learned cooking, somebody has learned something else. And so everybody's come out with something different than what they were doing earlier. And let's see, I think this situation, everybody needs to overcome this situation, wait and watch, and how the scenario changes and how the things change in our lifestyle, how it is going to affect our everyday work, how the system changes, how the building industry is going to get affected, how the markets are going to get affected, and all those things. I think nobody has an answer today to what is going to happen. So it's a grim situation for everybody, and let's everybody are facing together. Right?
Sure. Okay. Mr. Parekh, you have any presentation to share, or can we start?
Yeah, shortly.
क्या हुआ?
Journey of
नहीं हो रहा है, इनके फोन पे अभी लगा ना.
we'll go through. Hello.
Yeah.
Let's go through our journey of architecture, how we started.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I think I'll just introduce my brother who is sitting next to me. He is Mukul Parikh, who is a structural designer. Hello, sir.
Hello.
We basically, we did graduation from Sangli, both of us till 12th standard, and then he studied in Walchand College. He did his ME structural here. And we had no architecture college that time in Sangli, so I been to Bombay to do my graduation of architecture and passed out from Rachna concept. I moved back in 1989 when I passed out from Rachna, where there were chances that more exposure was there in the metro cities, and being Sangli a very small place that time. The population was not more than 3 to 4 lakhs, whereas Bombay was used like a sea. But my basics and my mentor, my father, who was into a construction business, always wanted us to come back and serve our town and city where we were brought up. And so that's how, after my graduation, without taking any of a major experience that time, and there was less possibilities having postgraduate courses also that time. At my time, there were only landscape and urban planning, whether those two subjects were only you could do the masters in India at that time. And going out of India was very rare case that time. In 89, I am talking. So my father, late P.R. Parikh, was a reputed civil contractor, and he had resigned in the construction business for over 30 years. With his able guidance and my elder brother, who is ME structural, we laid the foundation of our firm Parikh and Associates, where we dealt with architectural, structural, interior designing projects together. So it was like a one-stop for the clients to have all the considered under one single roof that time, so that architecture and structural, all the practice was done at one single place. So time was saved, discrepancies in the drawings were reduced, contractors to get better drawings. All those the results were seen in the projects. Embarking on this journey with small office and a small low budget residential project, we slowly grew into designing high-end bungalows, vast industrial projects. We did some sports complexes, public spaces came to us, and then we did some healthcare and hospitality projects also. Today, when I look back to our journey of having successfully executed numerous projects of diverse nature, I'm extremely pleased to have started the firm in Sangli. I have no hard feelings that I left for a city like Bombay and I'm back today in the Sangli. I strongly feel that these 2-tier, 3-tier cities have the maximum potential and more opportunities to offer you to explore. Over the years, our office has grown from a mere staff of 6 to around 40 odd people today. It is because of extremely prolific family here at Parikh and Associates, we are able to tap into the projects from Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Kolhapur, Nellore, Bhopal, and Silvassa, etc. Like we are fortunate to also work on 3-4 sugar factory projects as a consultant as of major industrial projects. Since this is a rich sugar belt area here, bound to work on those sugar factories which are in plenty and abundant in our area. We are regarding our milestone projects, like we are doing a Sanjay Gauda University, where MAP has been sending, we have been using your products right from the street, the adhesives and the waterproofing and all those other chemicals on this project for the last 7-8 years. With the Gauda, this started back in 90s when we were hired to design his residence in Jaisingpur. From there on, we have been a part of his various institutional, commercial, residential, and industrial ventures, and the journey continues with him. Today, Sanjay Gauda University is a landmark on Sangli Kolhapur Road, which has a area of about 130 acres and which fits into engineering, polytechnic, management, and school, and all allied activities in the campus. They have a specific big landmark food court, sports structure, and recently we are working on the latest City School of Architecture to be a part of the campus, which I will show you some slides when I go with the presentation. In this campus, what we have done is, like for the campus, we have just followed a simple thumb rule of form follows function while designing these projects. The idea was to focus on the efficient use of the building, since it's a public building. Lot has been given on to what kind of material has been used and what kind of maintenance is to be required to maintain this kind of a building, how the students are going to react to the structure. All those things are very important when you do this kind of a project. Also, the owner being very much interested in the landscape played an important role in creating smooth flow of the circulation for students. And we worked out the plan around the existing vegetation to maintain the natural context. Today, it's located at the foothills of the mountains at Atigre and the Sangli Kolhapur Road. And the terrain allowed to create water bodies and utilize the same for the various purposes, which become a major features of the campus. I think I just run through the presentation what we have, and I will stop this video and run into the presentation. It's visible, I think. It's visible.
Yes. The screen is visible. Yeah.
So we started with this. This is our office building. It's about 6,000 square foot. It's a prime part of the city in Sangli, where we started our office. This is not the original office where we started from. This we built our office after a practice of a small office in adjoining block. We'll start off with some residential projects. I'll just move with the slides so we don't waste more time. We'll just show you the what kind of variety of projects we're able to do being in a small city. The various kinds of projects came to us and we tackled each and every project to us successfully. So let's just go a glimpse of what our projects we did. This is the residence for a doctor, Dr. Mudalgi, who stays in Sangli. We are just showing you some features of the building, because less time I will not be able to show you all the plans and the details of the structures, because it's a wide variety of work we have done. We'll just run through the glimpses of what kind of material we use, the context being used for the site context have been used, and what play of light and circulation has been taking place. There's some interior for image of that bungalow where we have the staircase moving around the open to sky area with the courtyard, which becomes the heart of the movement of the bungalow. And the paneling continues from it goes to the triple height area, which starts from there. The dining area and the living room, which has got a double height. There's another residence where we have been to the very simplistic, where a rigid effect was given. We went on the rustic effect of giving the exposed concrete. This is a small bungalow, looks small, but it has got a swimming pool adjoining to the living room, where the family was interested to have a small pool adjoining to the living room. And in this bungalow project, we had almost everything covered, and all the side margins which are very little smart margins kept in this kind of a plots where only 3 meter or 2 and a 0.5 meter has been used. We have brought those two side margins into private spaces for each and every use. Like what you can see in the bathroom, the garden, it comes into the bathroom, it opens up into the bathroom. The bedroom gets two side margins, which is a private place. So all these concepts we are trying to implement in our designs. This is a palatial house. As I said, we got to work with this kind of a palatial bungalow where a owner had a land of about 30 acres with him, with the plantations on place, and a big challenge to have a terrain which was not a flat land. But in that, the requirements also not much, but all usable areas, non-usable areas played an important part. And being 35 acres of land, we had a big challenges of having all those amenities done for placed with this bungalow. As it is called as a mansion, it's a palace. And we went on to have these features of, you can see the detailing, intricate detailing, what we did with the interiors also. Like the Persian carpets were done in the intricate mosaics on the floor. The chandeliers were brought from outside. All those paintings were been customized. The kitchen again had, rather than going for the modern thing, we went with the classical and neo classical fusion of the work. As you see, the double lights, monumental statues have been used to give that palatial effect. And as you see this intricate work on the exteriors, whether a good part of detailing comes into picture, how you go into the detailings of the work to give a palatial look, what kind of material is to be used, how it can be done in a cheaper way, because doing everything in stone was not possible. So here we have used GRC material, which was the glass reinforced fibers being used in the intricate designing work in this. Now, if you see, this is a modern Wada, what we call. This is a just few days back, we have started with this work. The client being a big industrialist here who had a big plot and wanted a Wada kind of a feel, but with all modern amenities. So here we are using a technology where the foundations will go in the RCs and the superstructure comes in the MS part, where how it is done out of the India. All the processes are in that this way. I'm just sharing the plan, showing the water body, the natural cooling aspect with the wind flow, and the all the activities moving around the courtyard. And it's an open plan basically. I think with this open plan, post-COVID, I think this plan would be the most suitable thing what people will like to have a house where they're not social distances maintained throughout the house. In this picture, we have used brick as one of the local material which is readily available. You can see the structure being feeling light since we are not using RCC columns and beams going in the superstructure. We're using this MS structural work, which gives a lighter effect to it. And walls have been avoided about 2.5 meters level or 2.7 meters level. So we get maximum light and ventilation throughout the day. This is a building which we are doing in Delhi. The structure is ready and the interior part is on. We got a project to work on a family with a joint family who had a requirement of which is small plot, but they had separate requirements of having a banquet and the video room and the media room and the bar and all those things. But we were able to just give justice to the project, and the project had limitations in both of the side margins where adjoining buildings are there. You cannot have any light and ventilation. So it was a big challenge for us, and we were able to do this kind of a building to it. There's some of the glimpses of the interiors of the house what we have proposed, and it's underway. And this is a brick house what we are doing right now in Sangli. Brick is in nowadays. People are again going back to the basics where they want more rustic effect of a building. It gives a less maintenance. And in this is a house for two brothers. And from outside you can see one single building, but it's an internal duplex for two brothers. We have just taken some of the commercial projects what we have done. This is a bank building, a corporate office of a bank, which we executed in 2004. And there was a small plot of about 15,000 square feet where we had to construct with all of the bank cellars, lockers, a branch office, the different kinds of the accounting departments, and the chairman and the vice chairman and the director's room and the conferences halls and everything. I think in 2004, this was a very new concept for our city, where we went for a curved facade and that with the glass. So that nowadays it is very easy to do all those things, the technology come into picture. But in 2004, it was a big challenge for us and a city like Sangli, two-tier, three-tier city, to get good contractors to execute all these things. We got all the contractors from outside who worked on the facade and did a splendid job for us with the canopy just being suspended from the glass. So all these things we could do it in 2004, and that to a bank building, a technology came into picture where we used all of our automation. Like there is no guard bar to the whole building, we use bank building also, and we could manage to give a landmark to our city. These are some of the bigger pictures of the bank and the lobby and the conference hall. And now this is one of the projects when we did it in Mumbai for Bhumi Developers. That's the corporate office in Andheri East. This was the entrance lobby where the conference, where the people were having a, as you know, the builder's office has to be something different and it has to speak for the project and the quality what they are giving to the clients. This is on the right hand side where we had light, we had all the executive rooms, inner space, light transfers inside and the cubicles were placed. And then we had, there are more number of cabins required because as being a developer and builder, we could manage all these things. And we did it in Mumbai. Now this is again a furniture mall, which was a new concept, which we did in Sangli. Sangli, the client, the lower ground shops, what could you say, he had sold the shops and the upper FSI was balanced with him. So we just told him to come up with something different rather than because we don't have much of a commercial potential in Sangli to have more officer showrooms on the upper floors going. So in this concept, we convinced him to go for a furniture mall, very good, house all the furniture, different materials and vendors into one single roof. And a client coming to a building will getting right from the floor to lights, everything can be finalized or designed with the designer and they can select the material, which becomes easy for them. This is a building as a corporate office for Rex, which merged with Astral, and it is on the Prime Road where we are using stone and glass as a curtain wall, which is something different where either we use stone or either we use glass, but we have tried something different in the facade. These are the interiors, which is the modern concept of not having the full-fledged solid partitions. We have an open office system, and this is what we have proposed for them, which is under construction right now and under execution. In healthcare and hospitality, this is the milestone project what we are doing in Sangli. This is a project of our dream, a project for us. So now this is a multi-specialty hospital. As you know, we have got a lot of hospitals here. We are doing good results in Sangli and Miraj. As Sangli and Miraj is known for this medical hub. But a need had always been there to have all the specialties under one single roof. And that's how this project was born. It is born. And then it has been developed on 4 acres of a land. It's just outskirts of the city. But I think this was a necessity of the time. And the timely project was being conceived, and now it's also in record time. I think in a period of 8 months, we are able to complete the first A building where it is almost 43.5 meters of everything has been casted. I think Mukul would like to explain some kind of a building. It is very difficult to use this kind of a building as a PT technology has been used here. I would like him to explain some PT type features which facilitated us to have column-free areas where in a hospital the services become very important, height, beam depths and the more spans, everything came into existence. The speciality of the structural system.
Yeah, hi. This building requires a lot of column-free area, and also the speed of the construction was necessarily fast so that the project can be completed in the scheduled time. The initial schedule was proposed with 1.5 years, that is 18 months. And again, there was a obstruction of having a very low bearing capacity of soil, where we have need to reach the foundation up to more than 14 meters using the pressure piling technology. Same pressure piling contractors were brought from the Mumbai who were having a vast experience in doing set of pipes, and they're able to complete the foundations of about 300 piles in 45 days. Again, we need to change the cycle of a PT, where normally the PT cycle is considered as a 7-day strength to release the shuttering and use. Here we have used the technology and the hybrid concrete with the required mixed design with so many logists. We are able to achieve the same in 3 days of cycle, so that each on third day we could release the shuttering and go in for the above sections. Necessarily, these are the PT beams and slab technology being used normally, and the cycle was reduced from 7 days to 3 days to reach our target.
This helped us to increase the speed of the work, and that's how the bigger spans were achieved. Where with a service like, as you know, in the hospital, a lot of services come into picture, like gas system is there, firefighting systems is there, ducting systems are there, pneumatic chutes are there. All this has to be planned above the ceiling. So you're getting a column free and a beam less depth of a beam to work on. That's how this is a specialty where we could develop this kind of a building in a record time with all the facilities given to us for the architect and the MEP consultants to have column free space and the less beam, and ultimately achieving for a more number of floors. Because if you don't use this kind of a facility, you need to keep more height for per floor. So here, keeping a 3.6 meters, we could achieve everything. Otherwise, minimum 4.2 meters is required for this kind of a building. There's some of the images what we are considering for the special room and the entrance lobby, how they are going to look, and what we are already doing a lot of work. As you say, the next no normal has changed. So most of the things we are trying to see that it is all factory made and less things are worked on the site. This is one of the proposed projects where we propose for the another multi-specialty hospital, the PD Patil Hospital at Pune. This is a big land, but they wanted provisions to have for a second extension once they are with the first phase they are over. So this is what we have conceived for them. There's something institutional where people get to know that they are come to something special building, and we tried to give something good, a kind of a elevation rather than the typical box system for a hospital. This is another hospital which is a 400-bedded hospital in the first phase. These are some of the lobby images and what ICU, what kind of features we think of. So we are trying to get everything which is even used in the 2-tier and 3-tier cities. Now this is a hotel Panchashila at Kolhapur. It was already there was a hotel of 40 rooms, but then the client thought of, he had a FSI in the plot. Then we went for the extension of another 30 rooms to it. And then we had a challenge about changing the elevation and changing the facade to suit with the latest tech requirements what we had. So all this was been changed and a new look was given to the hotel, and then everything changed for them, and the facilities increased, the number of rooms been increased, all the business calculations have been changed. These are some of the images of what we get. This is one of the suite which is on the top floor. We are just showing an image of that. And the typical rooms what we've been conceived here. Now Sangli and nearby areas having a lot of farms and all those agri-based industries around. Farmhouses are in place. So we have done few of the farmhouses also. This is a famous farmhouse for the most glamorous personality of Sangli and Kolhapur, Mr. Sanjay Godawat, who owns a university also. There's a farmhouse which we developed on a industrial lot, but having around 600 grown coconut trees. And we started off with this project as a factory shed, and then for lounge areas to keep his displays cars, and then we converted it into a farmhouse. As we started getting the things done, we totally said, let's not do any industrial work here and let's have a leisure and a farmhouse place. Since already 500 grown up coconut trees he had in the place. There's another farmhouse having a private swimming pool, and the right hand side, as you can see, there are the utility buildings for the massage and the spa and the gym on the right hand side. This is where the Malad stone had been used. We had brought the stone from Malad and some stone from Jaisalmer. So all the maximum stone has been used in this building. So since it is in on the top of the mountain, Basically, we had challenges to arrest the heat and the ventilation here. So the double walling has been done. The inside is brick, the outside is stone. There's another small farmhouse, but it's a different concept where here again we have used metal in the superstructure and the foundation base. Hello. And this is on the river side of the Krishna River. This is done for one of the doctors. And he had a minimum requirement of 2 rooms and the allied functions to utilize and have a better view of the river. So we have planned that as you enter the structure, you could see the view of the river. I'll just show you 1 or 2 pictures. These are the sections what we have worked out. And this is we are not clicked the photograph with a professional way, but we just clicked when we have been to the site after its completion. There is another farmhouse which has got a lot of open areas, semi-used areas, and hardly 1 or 2 rooms on the upper floor. Here also we are doing the same thing. We are having some RCC column, but the structure will be in the superstructure will not be a slab, but a fabricated way where we reduce a lot of construction time and as well as the flexibility to have some forms into it. The public spaces we are just designed. There is one well-known Kali Khan in this area where we have designed a promenade for the Sangli Mirrors Corporation on the lines of the High Line, which has been designed in New York, which was a small track where it was converted into a walking area. So this also has a very little depth, width in it. And then we had a long stretch where we have created some protruding cantilever areas which can be utilized for a walk. These are some of the few images of that. This is another Kranti Stambha monumental structure for a Sangli Corporation. It's a sitting area and an amphitheater kind of a thing around the monument. Then this is the sports complex we did at Yeroda where we had a diving pool, swimming pool, and the tennis courts and all those things with the indoor hall having badminton. So industrial projects we did for on the last career we did some projects for JRI Spain where we designed the industrial project Nellore where that head office building. And this is the company which designs shafts for the windmills. We designed their Jaisingpur structure also, and then that is how we got this project for Nellore. This is one of the views what we have already done there. This is a Jaggery unit for Sanjay Godavar. And this is the FMCG Tetra Pak unit and the Jaggery units for the same group. And institutions, this is what we have considered as an architectural building, which is just under construction for Sanjay Godavar University. It's an open plan where architectural students and faculty requires a lot of open spaces to display their works, integrate. As the site has been facing to the Sangli Kolhapur Road, we tried to create a landmark for this building also. Being an architecture college building, it has to have something different and that is how he has only allowed for this building to be different than the other buildings in this campus. This is the entrance, and this is a school building. This is a hostel building. There are about 600 students staying in this. And this was the food court. In this structure, I think the water bodies play as this structure, this site is at the foothills of the Hathigiri mountain. The water naturally flows in the rainy season from the mountains to this terrain. So it was a big challenge for us to stop this water going and going to the nalas. So then we designed this water bodies in the place where this water can be utilized. And it can create and this water harvesting can be done in a better way, which will add to the additional airing of the better ventilation of the project, as well as have a better thing in that. This is also informal sitting has been created with the Wi-Fi area has been provided to students and all. This is amphitheater design for him. This is a food court. This is a panoramic view of the campus. And that's it. I think we have finished with the presentation, what we could do. We can we can go ahead, Sanjay ji, we can go ahead with it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Parekh.
I hope I have not taken much time of yours.
No, it's okay. It's okay because some of the projects were really quite nice, especially that palatial house. Really impressed with the kind of architecture and all that. And that Vada kind of structure what you have made. So I was looking like it was looking like a really decent and really somewhere you are in through the Europe or Spain. Okay, I'll take that and we can have this round of discussions again and again, but I'll just take because most of this our viewers and people are really interested. Like since you have done a lot of projects on a very fast track, and now with this problem which is arising worldwide, the construction industries are really going to face a very tough challenge. Social distancing, then fast track projects. So what is the measure what you think can be adopted to overcome this? And what is your viewpoint about the construction industry in this difficult times? So if you can highlight like and how you want to how you perceive that in this tough times really there are different views like what technologies are better, how we can really put the construction projects on a fast track, or maybe like it can be a kind of a things when the manufacturers can offer so that they are able to really get the things on a really different kinds of mode rather than using a different like a same technology. So your viewpoints you must have analyzed as at your point of view also so that it could really help our viewers and participants.
Lockdown period, I think we had a lot of brainstorming done in our office and everybody is doing that. It must have been with your company also. That's how to go ahead and what are the challenges we are going to face post-COVID. It's very unfortunate that the world has come to a standstill today as a result of COVID pandemic. As we face the dark times ahead, social distancing will become a slogan, I think. And it will define the way how you live ahead, how in that achieving that, how the technology will come into picture, and will redefine the concepts of design and purpose of the structure. We have been taught by hard time by the nature to believe in a good hygiene after this pandemic crisis. Health and hygiene also will be a rule book for which will play a pivotal role in the design. I think in this construction industry, like what we say, there are designers, there are vendors, there are contractors. All of them are going to get affected, and all of them will have to face the challenges. It's true that the facing dark times today, but they say every cloud has a silver lining. We just need to spot it. In general, as a construction community, we have taken a note that there will be a change in the way we work during the post-COVID-19 crisis. Never had we dreamt of such a pandemic strike world again, but it has now time to deal with it together and come out of it. Now, speaking of our role as an architect to support this industry and keep it afloat, we will have to adopt certain measures and bring about the changes in work habits. For example, work from home will come into practice up to some extent, but I'm doubtful if it can be fully adopted as a creative profession since our services are largely dependent on personal dialogue with the fellow designers and the clients, result into a better result. Now that change could be a little more adaptive as to be well versed with the new technologies or the apps that will avoid multiple site visits. We'll have to start conducting more Zoom or app-based meetings, like saving the time and the natural resources being wasted in the interest of the natural resources wasted less. Ensure more safety and contact-led meetings. Technology will become a prime tool that the industry will have to adopt in the future. All the office have to be adapted with the more technology-based apps in the office, more bigger monitors, more big Zoom rooms, and all those things with less contact. Contactless meeting will take into place for the architects, I think. And speaking for vendors, they might have to bring that change also. Like companies are the product, people have to invest their more money into the creating more showrooms and more display areas. But I think at this juncture, they will have to come out with a big using more technology and get app-based e-catalogs, which would help client as best as having Zoom meetings and the architect selecting the material and the office itself. That they will have to travel less to the showrooms. E-catalogs will be readily available, which should be near to the original ones, so that selection become easier. The color and the texture should be better visible with the apps. So all this again, the technology will come into picture, and that company also would be requiring less small showrooms. There are less people coming to it, and their investment also will come down. Ultimately, their marketing cost should come down, and then that should help the client to get a cheaper material. So this is for the vendors. I think vendors can also adopt this kind of a technology where everything is been reached to the architects or designers office, and less time is required to travel around. And for the contractors now, it's a big challenge to keep the labor, because now social distancing, lot of things are to follow, hygienic things, sanitizing, all those things have to be followed on the side. So now most of the contractors have to adopt to the factory made components, where most of the products have been were done in the factory and just assembled on the side. See, we cannot wipe out the total workforce from the side. Workforce will be required, but in that case, we can reduce the number of people working on the side. But and getting it technology adopted, lot of the precast, prefab, all these things will come into picture, and that's how we can save the time also. I don't know the cost wise, we will have to see, because of changing times. We'll have to evaluate how the costing gets affected, how the project cost is going to increase, or whether they can get a better product, or the finishing what we are looking up to, whether we are able to achieve that kind of finish. We don't know. And recent times, I think natural calamity like hurricane, earthquakes, and tsunami, they were affected the construction industry before also. But this is a totally different, where everybody has come to this instant. That was been affected in a particular region. So we will become adaptive of using that kind of a material in that area. Suppose we are going to the Andaman Nicobar. If you see that hurricanes and these things have been, everybody is used to it. So their lightweight construction has been used. Dry walls are used, so that whatever, if there's an accident, less kind of a injury has been caused. But I think in this kind of a vendors, everything is going to change for that.
We just go for the polls. Vinay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we'll go for the polls. I'll give you the first question.
Yeah. I just say the question. Okay.
I think I would like to have people polling for this, because post COVID-19, will there be a backflow of people to 2-tier, 3-tier cities, thereby decongesting the metropolitan cities, which is a need of a time?
So all the participants can just poll, and we can see the result, like what is the maximum, what is the view of the people, and what, because you people have been involved in the construction industry, or so your views are very important. So you can just poll onto this. So there are 4 options, whatever has been given.
Yeah, we already done that. I think, to my opinion, you want me to talk, Sanjay?
Vinay, it's done, or we can take it forward?
53 people have voted. Now it's 60. So we'll just wait for some 2 or
Just
3.
wait, sir. We can wait for another.
You can speak in the background, sir. Not an issue.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think there is a big scope. The poll is on, I think. But to my opinion, I think 2-tier, 3-tier cities will have a better aspects of living, traveling, work from home facilities, like metros. People go out in the morning at 7 and night 9:30, 10, they are able to come back from their workplace. So that while of a bad kind of a life they live for 6 days, and the 7th day there is only 1 day where they have to regenerate and come back on the Monday. But in 2-tier, 3-tier cities, there is less, where they can spend more time with their families. They can come back early. The traveling time is less. The working areas, they can get more work areas. So now all this is going to come into picture, I think. People will also think that, yes, I know that 2-tier, 3-tier cities will not be able to give them the money what they are getting in the metros. But now the time has come when people will start thinking about it, that money is the only thing in the life, or there are other aspects of living this kind of a crisis period. Everybody is going to learn something out of it.
Yeah, I would just like to add that this post-COVID-19, what I feel is there will be a balance between the metro cities and the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And I think most of us professionals who have been involved in this lot of activities, we were very fond of traveling and the flights and all that. But with this post-COVID-19, we came to realize that life is really like, it's not like traveling and all that. And these kind of cities are much better place to live. And maybe what you said is right, that the packages and salary might be different. But again, that there will be a total balancing act because maybe the cities will not be that congested and tier 2, tier 3 cities will be stabilized after this, and there will be more of development in these kind of cities.
Yeah, that will be even balanced where our country also requires that this
Yes.
need to develop, and accordingly, I think the government also is thinking of having more number of airports in 3-tier cities where the industrial people can then only think of putting their projects. That the industry also has to come back.
Yes.
It's not only that the lifestyle which can change, but the industry also has to come to this kind of a city. And for that, infrastructure is a bigger responsibility of the government, which play a very important role in visualizing that how these cities also can become self-sufficient and sustainable, so that people can come back and stay in the cities. Because this is the cities which is giving you the manpower which is required in the metros. People
Yes.
a city like Sangli and then they travel to Pune or Bombay when the graduation is over. In my office, it's also is like a graduate, what you say is a clear. It's like a polishing the person when he gets out from the degree course. Treat him, teach him the all the scopes of the work and train how he has to go. And once he's ready to work, he goes to Pune and Bombay. That is the time when he's actually required to my office. But
Mhm.
this is the experience what we had for last 30 years. We have been training students, and once they are okay with the things, they want to travel outside. But it's okay, because human being, they already want to, almost people are more attracted to the glamorous cities, and then they are less worried about what kind of a lifestyle they have. But now this period will teach people that what is more important, whether the glamorous cities, whether the lifestyle, whether the money what they have, or the life or safe life, and a very stress-free life what they're going to get, which might increase their life period.
Sure.
Shall we end the poll, sir?
Yeah.
I'll share the results also.
Okay.
Share.
To some extent is the maximum. I think
So
what we
you can see the results, no?
Yeah. So to some extent is 62%.
and the
No.
second definitely is second.
Okay.
So let's hope. I think to some extent we should be prepared into the 3-tier cities to welcome these people back to our city. I think
Yes.
let's hope that people come to basics of their roots.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Parekh, one more question. Like, since we are one of the manufacturer and in the building industry, and you must be using a lot of manufacturer products which are coming from maybe like wood, tiles, stones, and adhesives, chemicals, and all that. So, what technologies and what change you anticipate from these manufacturers in terms of post COVID-19 situation, that how they will be able to, because earlier, as I told in the start of my meeting also, like what was happening was, as an Indian, we are very happy to meet people, shake hands, meet people. But now, do you think it is going to really affect that we just act like a person? Okay, sir, I am sending you something as a manufacturer. Please have a look and use it in your project. Or maybe like when a person comes, because you are a professional who is using that products, you would have a lot of queries and all that. So once these things really come into like, okay, we send you, it is not like a standard product. It is a basically technology, how to apply, what equipments to be used, how much curing time, and how much is the tensile strength, elongation, whatever it is, because you have got a certain lot of technical features as a civil engineer or as an architect. So how you anticipate that manufacturers will be able to, or you expect the manufacturers to really solve your problem in that context?
Yeah, I think the future of this industry is like a lot of things like prefab, precast, and what is factory made, and all this will come into picture.
Okay.
Now everybody will try to see that social distancing has been achieved. Because see, everybody is afraid of it, that now it is in their minds that you have to travel less, meet less people. Greeting people will be in a different style throughout the world. That you cannot do all those things. What you used to do, like shake hands, give a kiss on your pig, and everything is not going to happen right now. And now, right now will be, it's like you don't meet, you just say hello, don't shake your hands. Then we will have industry people like, I will say, Sanjay ji, just send me some small mock-up kind of thing. Let people of your company do a small mock-up on the site. We might see it when we visit the site and get it approved. We don't require you send us the detailed brochures, send us what we want. Details have been exchanged. Things are shared on the computers itself. And if your app is, we can have a better Zoom meeting, right? What now we are having a webinars. That kind of a meetings can be conducted with you, where with the contractor on the site, we on the office, you in the factory, your supplier or distributor on the other side. Well, all of them can converse. We can sort out the problems on the mobile on this webinar itself, saving a lot of time and traveling from all the people. Earlier, what I used to do, Sanjay ji, मेरा requirement है.
Yeah.
He comes to me, sir, क्या requirement है? He takes the details from me, then he goes back to his office, then he works out, he talks with the back office, and then again he comes up with the offer. Sir, ये मेरा offer है. All this is going to stop. And we want, it will save a lot of time from everybody. So the first thing is what we'll say, that we'll try to select the companies, we'll try to say whom we want to work with, what are the using time, how effective they are in working on this time. All this is going to come into picture, I think.
The company Mappe
Yeah.
will have an upper hand in the future because they have developed their products with a painstaking.
Yeah, what I can do is, by the time Mr. Parekh gets back, I think there's some problem in the network.
Yeah.
I'll just say some brief about the MAPAI. I think most of the VRN participants, I'll just share some thoughts in this kind of scenario where we will be one of the, we are acting as a manufacturer for the construction chemical industry. So what we are also trying to do is that whatever customers we have, whether it is on infrastructure, buildings, or maybe like residential or hospitality industry, we are trying to create online meetings, everything. And what the architects are saying that like earlier, we were used to go sit together, have a cup of tea and all that. But now still we are trying to create some exhibits, samples, and transport it directly to the architect's office and discuss with them. Maybe after 6-8 months, when slightly there is time change and we are comfortable in at least maybe not meeting 10 or 12 people, we are will be meeting one-to-one. Okay, Mr. Parekh. Yeah.
Sorry. See, this is what happens, and you can experience what goes with 2,000, 3,000 cities. What is we lacking for? The bandwidth is very bad. The network is bad. Twice we have got disconnected. Sorry for that.
Don't worry, it's happening in Delhi. And I am from Delhi, but it's the same problem nowadays. Everybody is on the Netflix, so so everybody the Wi-Fi has a problem. Don't worry, don't worry.
Sorry for that.
No, okay.
You can continue.
Yeah, your brother was, Mr. Parekh, your brother was saying something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that post-COVID, the company like Mappe, who are manufacturing or supporting the civil industry, construction industry, has an upper hand because their products are in the market due to the severe and painstaking efforts and R&D. And with their products, they are supporting to the civil industry. So I feel the post-COVID, as what my brother said, there will be no meetings, but the almost digitalized sharing of the features of the products. But I feel the experience can be only shared to conferences, like using the Zoom or digital or in person. So I feel that this company like Mappe is having a very good future, who is having a background and backbone of most R&D and new products. They will be able to brought in. I think what is the requirement of the construction industry.
More what I is like, since your company has been adapting the developing the products which are required to have the speed of the construction work increased, or the chemical, what are the basic problems on the side where curing is a problem. Nowadays less workforce is required, so we need to have some products which doesn't require curing. All this R&D from your side has been already done. and a lot of products are there in the market. So the adaptive company which is adopts to all this latest technology will be already having an age of that, and product itself also has to speak for it. But I think a new, what you say, new normal will be like, I will not expect your person to come to me to take an inquiry from my side, and then I will tell him what is my requirement. All these things also we should be able to do it with all those cameras on the side and all. We should be able to discuss with the difficulties what we are facing on the side, if there is some at all, or what is the requirement, what we want you to do work on this side. All this can be transferred with this apps and all technology. So I think everywhere, I think if you see, technology will play a very important role in our next normal, as you said.
Sure. Yeah, I just like to add, like, since Sir said that as a company like Mapai, what we are now trying to do is, since whosoever manpower, whatever, they are well trained enough to, it cannot be like that. If a problem comes, the team whole goes to an architect office and start giving lecture with one. So you have to be a very specialist, and in a very minimum time you have to deliver the results. So that's what we are trying to create in Mapai, and definitely our R&D and all that, we are trying that whatever products we develop, that should be on a fast track projects for this kind of situation for the construction industry. Okay, I just come to one last poll. Vinay, can we take the last poll?
Yes, sir.
Then we can go for the question hours, because I think some people have already put some questions.
Sanjay, the new normal will be like work from home will always be, all the institutions and organizations are going to think on that.
Yes.
Because whatever organization facilities what we have, the floor plate areas will be have to be changed. The planning for post COVID-19, whatever safety norms will come into utilization, we'll have to follow those norms. We'll have to increase the workspace of an individual person working in the office. All these are going to change the total scenario. Rebuild or retrofit people will have to come into picture. Like some changes are required to be done in the whatever existing infrastructure what we have. And
Yes.
those who are able to work from home, all the companies will also inspire him to go and work on that. And that person also will be able to give, I think we'll have to see how it works and what kind of results we get. And work for a people, I think person who wants to work from home, he'll be happy not to change his attire, whatever he's wearing. He can sit anywhere and work on that. He have a coffee, chit chat, watch TV, but he can work. He is not worried about traveling for his workplace when he has to catch up a train. He's not too hurry for that. He's not having a bath, but still he can work. All those things, he is I think a boon for him if everything works as a work from home.
Yeah, I can be flexible. That's the best thing.
Difficult for professionals like us, where we need to have a correspondence or a dialogue has to be exchanged. What I actually want from my people, what has been implemented, how it is affecting the design, what is actually required to be implemented in design, what are the factors governing why we want to do this. All this I cannot talk to him on a Zoom or explain him on a drawing what is sent me through mail or something of that kind. For our organization, at least, yes, we can reduce some kind of a force to work from home, where the 3D guy or a visualizing guy, what we have in the office, can come for some time in my office and go back and work at his home place and then visit a half an hour or 1 hour to my office to get whatever changes I want. But those who are the proper designing team, I require them in front of me. That's what I think. It might be difficult with different architects working everywhere or the organizations, how they adapt to this. But this is my opinion.
Yeah, so we'll end
Sorry. Sorry. Let's see what the time brings us for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing is sure, we are moving from social to professionals.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of the people don't have a they don't want to, what is,
You don't want to work from home.
yes. So it's basically you're meeting a lot of friends and all that.
That is there, they need go out. I think the developers and builders will be happy to see this kind of a pool. So
Yeah.
their malls and their areas are not going to get empty. They are going to get still filled up.
Yes, yes,
We're happy to see this kind of a pool. I think.
yes. Okay, there are a lot of some questions which has come from a lot of people. Okay. Somebody has answered. Things are going to change for a long time in our construction industry. The concept of putting large format tiles and big stones on the floor will soon become a history. Need your suggestions on this.
Yeah, I'm to answer, Sanjay.
Yeah,
Yeah, to my opinion, what he is exactly asked is right. Everything will be now considered as a prefab, and pre-installed things will come into picture. In that case, more bigger tiles will not come into picture because transporting them will be a problem. So smaller size will come into picture, which is very handy, less weight. So it can come into a panel forms and it can be utilized easily or assembled on the side. So this will be the future, I think, because right now what is happening is we are taking tiles, bigger size tiles are available. Now we are transporting on, moving it on the upper floors also is a big problem. You need cranes for that. Nowadays, high-rise buildings are also coming. So if this kind of technology been used, where panel forms have been used for the flooring, tiling, everything has been done, that kind of what is been done outside in other countries. The progressive countries, a lot of things are been assembled in the factory itself, and that's how the construction becomes very faster in their countries. They do the half the time construction is done in half the time what we take here. I think yes, that will work. I think.
okay. Now there's a question from Mr. Manoj Sharma. Do not you think that we must go for more automation in the application part?
Yeah, I think automation is there in the pipeline, and automation will come more into picture. Like with post-COVID, I think automation seems like lift will not be operated with hands. You'll have to use your mobile for that. Handrails will be avoided. Even if you're mobile, you can call for a coffee from through mobile. All these things will come into picture. You don't need to lift a phone and order something. Yes, automation and technology is going to be the next future. Everybody has to be adapted with this.
Oh, I just like to add to Mr. Manoj Sharma. When in India, when I graduated engineering, like maybe 5 or 10 years before that, admixture in the concrete was considered to be a rocket science. But now I think even the buildings or even the small houses in a like slight congested part of the cities, whether you talk about tier A, tier 2, tier 3 cities, all have started going from RMCs. So nobody wants to put a batching plant or maybe a 10x7 mixer and start somebody's putting a lot of water. So similarly, like putting plaster onto the wall, even the automation in the plaster application is start. And
Yeah,
the companies like us, we even have the machine plasters which can be ready to apply. So in that case, you don't need 10 people standing on the wall and just spraying the plaster onto the wall and waiting for something to happen. So it's a fast track thing. So I think you're right. Automation will definitely be helpful with more equipment and more machines coming into the picture.
yeah, the companies which are more adapted to this will get more work, I think.
Yes. Okay. One question is from Mr. Rohan Kalyani. So as many workers have moved to their hometown, which is away from the construction sites. Okay, that's a problem which everybody, even the whole country is discussing. How are we going to deal with the same? Do you think it would definitely affect the speed of the construction?
Yes, I think the whole country is facing the migrant issues. I think to me, I think we should have planned properly for migrants what is going to happen with them. Today, the country would not be in this kind of a situation. If they would be allowed to travel, go back, if lockdown was going to be such a long phase, they should have been allowed to go. And if they right now they would be having a good frame of mind to come back and work. But since they have faced a lot of problems on the side and being the camps, labor camps, which are not hygienically very good for them to stay, everybody wants to go back. And 100% to me, the work, the industries, not only the construction industry, all the industries in the country are going to suffer with this. a lot of the production rate will come down, and everything is going to get affected because these were the backbone of the all the industries.
A very good question from one of the anonymous attendee. Will new worth generate, will people spend on the luxury houses now?
I think that goes from person to person. I think the spending will always be there.
Yes.
Those who have money, they will not stop spending. It is a time where you will think of that कि ठीक है नहीं करना है. But after, I think once we are again into the fast track of our life, people will come back to it. Luxuries will not go out of the place.
Yes, you're right.
It's like redefining the life. Like in redefining, people will try to do that.
Yes, maybe it's a very short-term issue which people may hold on for some time, but I think once the things get back to a new normal, that will be a normal.
That will be a new normal.
That will be a regular normal, I would say. Okay. One gentleman has asked a question, sir. What is your view on the usage of seamless floors or in vertical areas rather than using the conventional systems? Good question.
What is it? I didn't get the question. Can you just repeat the question?
What is your view on usage of seamless floors?
Seamless floors, you mean to say the concrete or the tile? What is?
I don't know, it's not very, but it can be, I think, concrete only.
Chemical based floor.
Chemical.
Yes, or in vertical areas rather than using conventional system.
I think it has got limitations with the flooring. If you use a seamless floor, expansion contraction coming into the building plays a very important role for the floor. The minor cracks do appear on the flooring, and the usage has to be very sophisticated used to use this kind of a seamless floors. That can be used. This kind of floors are still used in operation theaters, the OTs, and the ICUs. But if you try to use this in the workshops and the floor shops, the results have not been the same. I think yes, up to some extent this can be used, but it all depends on what kind of the usage is there on this kind of a floor.
Yeah, in fact, in our Vadodara factory, we have really gone slightly better on the regular flooring system, which is like people have been using a certain dimensions of flooring for a bigger warehouses and all that. So we have put some, we have got some products like shrinkage compensating admixtures, so which can avoid cracks and some fibers, so that you can increase the joints and the construction joints into the regular flooring system by giving a lesser joints on the total flooring system. And then it's a normal, like you can put floor hardener and then put a liquid hardener, whatever it is, and make the floor better. So again, that is again a robotic kind of a flooring which has been done. So but most of the industry is like once and they start, they first prefer for a regular vacuum dewatering and all that. But with this kind of like in case somebody wants a fast track and less joints, so they can go ahead with a more automation of the system. Okay, now one gentleman are already, okay, this you have already answered. How do you think labor at site will be managed? It's like, I would just like again, we have to keep minimum labor at with the social distance and all that, and do more of a fast track, use for a fast track automized products. Am I right? If you can add to it, sir.
Correct. Social distance has to be maintained in future. So workforce is required, but that will be on the lesser extent. And more of the technology-based construction has to be taken place. It has to be redefined, like what kind of, we have to, as a designers, it will be very important for us that when we design, we need to always have a tap on what kind of a technology we are going to adopt while designing, how this can be adopted, and what are the measures we are going to take while the construction and the contract has been finalized. So all these things is very important for us, because now we need to think of all those things when we give a work where social distancing is there. How much area we can, if this, all those norms are to be followed, how much area we can allot them for the labor camps, how the distancing can be achieved while working. It's a very big challenge for the industry.
Okay, what will be the product selection criteria due to the limited resources?
Yeah, well, what is best available, what is the product has to speak for itself is the most important thing, and how fast it is available, made available on the site, and productivity and the durability of how sustainable it is.
Yeah, I think sir also said, your brother also said the same thing. So in this, so like earlier, if somebody using a product, there's a problem, they immediately call a sales engineer or a salesperson or maybe a technical person. But now people will definitely go for the right product at the right time to avoid any confusion or maybe having a lot of discussions again and again and again. Yeah, this is due to this sudden economy crunch. What will be the situation of the hotel and the luxury projects?
Yeah, see, I think at least for some time, people will travel less. That is what we assume right now. They will be afraid to travel. They will not find out places which are safe enough, which have been directly affected by this corona. So all these pictures will be there. Also, restaurants, people going to restaurant is going to affect. They will
Yeah.
have some setbacks in their mind that this is whether it is hygienic safe to go into the restaurants and eat, whether to call for Zomato or Swiggy, how hygienic they are, what kind of sanitizing has been done in the places, what kind of kitchen sanitizing. All these questions are going to come into a person when he is going to think of it. I think yes, up to some extent, these things are going to get affected, but the day the barrier is out of this, fear is out from our minds of the corona, I don't think it will have a problem. It's a matter of time that we have to face these challenges, another 6 months of a year or so. But after that, it should be normal if you don't face any other things ahead.
Sure, sure. Okay. I don't know one question. I'm not able to anti-abrasion PCM coatings. I don't understand what does PCM means.
PCM coatings, I see what you might be asking about the anti-abrasion, like this kind of floorings. People want a lot of the. I think I visited one of the Ferrari showrooms in I think in Italy, and it had no tiles to it, but this had this kind of abrasion-free flooring which was done through chemicals. It
Okay.
gave a very nice feel. It was a seamless floor, and since their structures are on steel metal structures, less movement of expansion contraction is seen those kind of structures. And I could see the flooring was very beautifully done. And I think this kind of coatings might be brought into practice where we could not see any foot marks or any trolley marks or any baggage being moved onto the floor. Nothing was been visible. It was a good product.
Okay. Maybe it is due to condensation also, whatever it is. It's okay. As an architect, somebody has asked, as an architect, this situation, will there be effect on the change of the designing and the structure?
Yeah, I think yes, it will change from buildings to buildings. If
Okay.
this post-COVID, some norms have been put into force by the government, it becomes mandatory for everybody. So, like if you go to a building which is having a software building has been there, they
Yeah.
will have right now they just to have metal detectors have been put and you're just asked to pass through it. Now there will be a separate screening room where a person will be checked for his temperature and if he's serving through a fever or something. And then if it is that, he is not allowed to enter the building because the fear is always there. If something of this kind, a person enters the building and if he is found positive, the whole building gets blocked down.
Social distancing is one more part of the
Then,
our
then the
future.
valet parking. Suppose valet parking, we used to offer our cars to the valet and go inside. So now valet parking also will think twice whether handing your car because he's touched your car, he's entered your car, and then you again have to have a fear if something could happen to me if my cars are given. So again, the planning wise, we need to consider how a person can easily go with his own car, have that good parking system where he can park his car easily, where you don't require a valet for things to be done. This is with the valet. The commercial buildings again, which will be all touch-free systems are being used while traveling to a lift or escalators. You see that they can be operated with automation like mobiles and all those things. Railings will be less in the building, but something different had to be utilized. All these things will come while designing a house. Again, the same thing. And if you are using offices are bound to change more than the residences, I think.
Okay.
The residential complexes will be changed where people will like to have a sustainable campus where close-knit families enjoyed this kind of a lockdown. In that case, people where they had a mall, where they had a play area, where they had a club or jogging areas and the walking areas for all different types of age factors, those people have not felt much of a trouble in this kind of a period. So this kind of a concept will also govern that close-knit campuses will come into picture, and people will try to have their more options up to that kind of a building rather than staying in a standalone building which has been badly faced in this kind of a building where you're not allowed to go out and you have to just stay in there 4 walls. So this is for residences. As for commercial offices, I think we'll fall back onto the same rule of 6 feet rule earlier what it was. And earlier the office space was allowed for a person, we used to give a 6 feet table space. Now it will come down half this thing. We are already there in the half the thing that we are giving 1.2 meter or 1.1 meter for per person to utilize. And that open kind of office system is there. But that is again going to change. We'll again fall back on that 6 feet rule. Less people will be there in the office. Open office systems will go. Open meeting rooms will be converted into private meeting rooms. And with this app based and bigger screens and all, where everybody can converse. Then more interactive spaces will be reduced now. They will have the private spaces more rather than more interactive. So all this is going to affect the designing of a office building, design of a public building, and all sustainable systems have to be adopted for the residential systems.
So, what about the real estate market and the requirement of the small houses will be more?
Yeah, I think you see the kind of a market what we have right now. Already the real estate is in a slump position for last I think 7-8 years. Every real estate developer is trying to hoping for a miracle to happen and their market to grow, but that is not happening for last few years. But now with this, I think luxury, as you said, will be selective. Adaptive version of designing for a compact housing will already come into picture, because now we'll have to see that more number of people who stay in slums and the lower income group, which is in a badly state of houses what they have, where the hygiene is not been followed. Now they will understand the importance of a house rather than putting up a shed and living in a small plot. Now he think of his family to have a small flat. He'll gather his money for that to buy a small flat. So now that requirement will come into picture. Like people staying in slums will face the biggest problem what they're facing. Though they earn money, they have been used to live in that kind of a lifestyle. Because we have seen many slum projects where he gets a flat for his slum, but he gets that flat in that against the slum, gives it on a rent, and again puts up a slum somewhere else. So that might stop with this kind of if he's been properly educated with the people down the lines that this is not the future, hygiene is most important. There will be a big demand for compact housing for middle income group and lower income group.
A very good question from a person. The business will be decentralized and small contractors from small town may come into the business, and MAPAI may have to increase their manpower in small town with the training centers. Can I just say some words?
It's your
Okay.
question, not mine.
Yeah, definitely. As Mr. Parikh was saying that the people will start moving from tier 2 to tier 3 or maybe tier 1 to tier 2 cities, because work from home and those cities will be developing, and small contractors will come into the business. But like now companies like MAPAI will also try to put in the products which are like, I would say, like if you go to a countries abroad, it's like a DIY, do it yourself. Or I would say we would like to put like a ETA, easy to apply kind of products, where like you don't need, maybe I'm not like there are 1,000 products, out of that maybe 10% are that which are really technological products, maybe some are regular usage of products. So we can train online also, but definitely for a very technological products, we will have a training programs and all that, but that will be as per the norms, which are the government norms, maintaining a social distancing, maintaining a proper SHE activities, which is called safety health equipment activities, sanitizing everything, that will be governed. But that can be carried out But manpower increasing, as earlier also said, now we have to utilize, because we are now moving from social to professionals. So we have to be more professionals and more thorough in our approach, rather than just going to a site and sitting and cup of tea and all that. Because now within the very limited resources and limited time, we have to yield the results. So no, sir.
Yeah, I think for what you said is exactly right. Training is required for a particular period type of a product which requires to have a training center where it is very much like only few people can do it. In that case, yes, training centers are required. But otherwise, what you said, you need to have proper conversation and the clearances have been done at the office level itself. And if the adaptive nature of the contractor is better, I think we should face less problems and we don't require all those setups everywhere around.
Okay. Somebody has asked, will you accept small contractors trained by MAPAI?
Yeah, why not?
Why?
Why not?
Okay.
There are always small contractors we are happy to work with small contractors in this kind of a city because they are more sincere in their work and they are involved in the sites properly themselves. It is not like a big contractor who sits in his office and his staff is looking after the site and he doesn't really know what is happening at the site. So all small contractors are always welcome for any kind of a work.
Okay. Last question. After the vaccination and things are over, what will be the impact on the construction and what will be the impact on the norms what we are facing? Will there be some relaxation or it will be somebody has asked this question?
Relaxation regarding
Like if the vaccination is available after maybe 6 months.
After the vaccine is being found.
Yeah.
I think after the vaccine is done, I think people will start behaving as if nothing had happened to us. This is what we have seen as of today. We have faced a lot of problems. We have seen floods coming to the cities, floods. But after 2-3 months, I think people forget. The memory is very short about it. But there was something different, which everybody has learned regarding that. It's not very simple to have everybody. The world has come to a standstill in this case.
Yes.
This crisis was something different than what earlier people have faced. But I think it should not affect once the vaccine has come, the mental block has been removed. It should fall back to normal.
Yeah, I think we should again come to the social life.
Post-vaccination, they will try to move with double speed what they are lost in the COVID period.
Yeah, and fortunately in India, the population is, I would say in such circumstances, is a positive point for us. So our own requirement is much better than what Europe or other countries have. So India will be able to sustain on itself, I would say, rather than being dependent upon the outside countries.
Yeah, our immunity is also much better than what they have.
Yes.
See the death rate what we have seen in the other European countries and what death rate we have in our country.
Yes.
Very minimalistic, I think. So our immunity is much better in whatever environment we have been brought up.
Yes.
It help us, I think. It will be an additional sustainability point for us as the Indian.
I think it was really nice to interact with you. I really thank all the viewers and the participants who was flooded with a lot of questions. And in case any further question is, you can again email to our cluster head, Mr. Madhukar, or our marketing head, Swam Chaudhary, or you can put that on Info India also. We can take it forward to Sir Mr. Parekh and get back to you. And once again, we wish everybody to be safe and sound, and we wish everybody should get out of this pandemic situation as early as possible. So thank you for everybody, and thanks for everybody for joining for this webinar along with the architect Mr. Parekh.
Thank you, Sanjay ji, for giving us this opportunity to discuss and interact with all the people who attended the webinar. I thank all of them for spending their time and attending this webinar. I just have to say then that stay home and stay safe, and let's hope for the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.